from a point of view of smaller businesses because not everybody has access to, legal understanding it on the go. What is the sweet spot? As you said, people are more happy with handshake contracts or conversations. And what's a sweet spot for a small business as they are growing for a one-person, sole proprietorship to, now I have multiple subbies. And as you're growing your business, I need to have an employee. And then, so what is a sweet spot in the journey of an organization's growing from an individual to, a couple of people and then much larger? Where would they start considering to have overall, risk understanding that, which relationships they are working on, which one are contractual, which one are handshake, and how do we go about it?
Well,
and is there one, if they're not?
I actually don't think there is one. It really depends on the business and the business owner's tolerance for risk, I suppose. I appreciate that's a relatively abstract concept. For some businesses, I mean, in an ideal world, if I was going to put my lawyer hat on, I'd say if you're going to open a business, pay some attention to commercial hygiene from the start. And the earlier you do it, the easier, probably the more profitable your business will be, because you're already, like, that process of thinking about risk, you start to think about, well, what's the price of risk? Like, is it buying more insurance? Is it putting more resources on this project? Is it, if I'm working by myself, is it allowing myself more time to do the project? And what's the cost of that? So if you're thinking about that from the very start, you're probably going to be more profitable because you're building a buffer in to manage risk during the project and to help, if you're a supplier, to achieve your client's desire, which is that time, cost and quality, trifecta. So ideally, you do it right from the start. But a new business is typically cost conscious, so that's harder. So, I think there are low-cost products that you can buy out there now. Like, you can definitely go and buy legal documents online. My experience with them is that they're not always as cost-effective as people think they're going to be, because they tend to be really generic. Sometimes they sort of go from one extreme to the other. Sometimes they're so generic that they're not very helpful. Other times they're overcomplicated, which I think is sometimes some legal publishers, I think, fill their product with legal jargon to make it feel like it's more...
more guarded.
Yeah, and so, that's not helpful either. I think sometimes it's probably more cost effective to get someone who knows what they're doing at the start to say, here's what I think you need. Like, at this stage, you're working on a handshake. Let's just add some simple T's and C's to your quote template, and that's going to, help you manage your risk, make sure your insurance is protected and things like that, and it'll be tailored to your business. And I think that can be helpful in the industry I work in, where handshakes are considered to be important. If you have someone tailor your risk management or your documents to your business, they can probably come up with documents that are more aligned with that idea of a relationship business than, perhaps if you go to a template or a really big firm, you might end up with a really, really long contract. And that's not consistent with saying to your commercial partner, our relationship is really, really important to me, and that's my highest priority. And then you hand them like one of your encyclopedias and say, here's our contract, would you mind reviewing this and signing it, or whatever. And that's the same from both sides, actually. Yeah, exactly. So, I think, is there a sweet spot? Probably not. From a legal perspective, it's earlier rather than later, but it's never too late. And certainly I find a lot of businesses come to me.
It's not too late before dispute. Just before.
Well, maybe. A lot of businesses come to me, though, as they grow, and I think they become more, like, it's probably when they've had their fingers burned a few times and they are thinking, oh gosh, well, if we'd had a contract, we probably could have said, actually, you owe us some money, or this is what we agreed.